With us now, David Gelman, Trump's surrogate, member of the Republican National Lawyers Association. Welcome to the program. Chris Hahn, host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast, former senior aide for Senator Chuck Schumer. Gentlemen, good to see both of you. David, look, I think, and we've laid them out on this show, that the president's got a lot. President Trump has a lot of legitimate grievances about what happened in New York. How is it American, though, to say what's happening to me is un-American, so now as Republicans, we should do the exact same thing to the other side when we're in power?
Well, look, if I was President Trump, I'd be really upset as well. But he's not doing that. Look, the Democrats are playing with fire. They're saying, hey, if you're against us, we're going to go after you. Because if anybody believes that the trial that just happened yesterday for the past 6 weeks was fair and wasn't any political motivation at all, they have to be blind. They're not being true to themselves. All President Trump is saying is, hey, look, if I'm President Biden, you have a lot of skeletons in your closet, and you've been accused of a lot of things, and they're going to go look at you just as like they're looking at me, or you're making them look at me. So he's not saying
David, maybe you didn't understand the question that I asked you, because I said that if you say going after President Trump and trying to find things, which is what Alvin Bragg said he was going to do, doing that is wrong. Okay, agreed, stipulated, because I'm the only non-lawyer on this panel. But how can you then say, hey, we're going to go do the very same thing and go investigate Joe Biden and find a crime then?
Well, the reason is you don't have to find a crime with Joe Biden. Joe Biden has literally proven again and again that he's committed certain crimes. Remember, the special counsel even said he did. The only reason they didn't even charge him was because he was an old man with a poor memory.
Well, to be fair, that is what the special counsel said. Hahn, there seems to be this talking point going around among Democrats that you can't elect Donald Trump because he's going to do the exact same thing to Democrats that we're doing to him. How are Democrats not doing the exact same thing that they're accusing Republicans of? Come on.
I mean, Republicans believe in states' rights, right? This was a state prosecutor, a local prosecution of Donald Trump for a crime he committed in Manhattan. And there was a jury of his peers, which his attorneys participated in selecting. And by the way, held on to 5 preemptory challenges, so they must have liked these jurors and their chances with him. I don't like the idea of saying that Trump's going to do this to us if he wins. I think that the American people need to know what Biden's going to do for them. I think elections are always about the future, not the past. But I do think
Hahn,
everything matters in a very close election. You would be okay
with a Republican DA in some podunk town in Missouri, where I'm from, going, I'm going to find a way to investigate Joe Biden and go after him. You'd be okay with a trial against Joe Biden after that? Come on.
So, you know, the trial in New York was on a crime that somebody went to jail for, that Donald Trump directed. It was a reasonable thing to be brought. This was not made up by Alvin Bragg. This was done by Donald Trump. Michael Cohen went to jail for it.
Hahn, I cannot believe you're trying to litigate the fairness.
You want to make something up?
Go, David, go ahead.
It certainly was made up. Nobody has ever been charged with this crime, ever. Not in New York, not anywhere else. And then they had to make up a crime to put onto it so they could bring this
what I'm trying to do is
back up.
I'm trying to at least look forward.
Look, falsification of business records
is how is it that the country goes forward? Okay, if you've got Donald Trump leading chance to lock her up in 2016, then you've got Democrats saying, hey, look, I'm going to look at Donald Trump until I find a crime and prosecute him. And then you've got Republicans saying, hey, when we're in power, we're going to go investigate Joe Biden. Never mind, this doesn't have anything to do with helping the American people. How does this end well?
Yeah, it ends when Donald Trump is defeated in November, which he surely will be. Okay, we're not sending a felon to the White House. It's over for him. Okay, the American people are not going to go backwards. They're going to go forwards. Donald Trump, you said at the beginning of the show, he had an opportunity today with a huge audience to make his case for the presidency. Instead, he cried for an hour. Governor Huckabee tried to defend him in the same way that Republicans defended him after the 2020 election. Oh, let him blow off some steam. No, this is who he is. He's a whiny little cur who cares about himself and not the American people.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.